This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming Ed Mehler. Ed played the nerdy high school student Buster in the 1985 cult classic Better Off Dead, celebrating its 40th anniversary. And I've talked to, God, how many people? 5 people from that movie at least. And it's going to be great to have him on today. He also was in a couple music videos. Kenny Loggins' I'm Free, Dio's The Last in Line, trippy video. He was in the John Hughes teen comedy cult classic Weird Science. He's one of the Drop and Give Me 20 gym students at the end of the movie. He was Corey Feldman's stand-in, which I found out on Instagram, along with the Weird Science, because they don't mention those on IMDb and stuff. And he was also Jennifer Edwards' boss, past guest Jennifer Edwards' boss in The Perfect Match. And what a career that is. And he's still going, and it's going to be a great conversation. I've been looking forward to this for a week now, and I am so excited. Christmas December just kicked off yesterday in style, and Better Off Dead, for better or for worse, it's a Christmas movie. I consider it a Christmas movie. There's snow, there's a Christmas scene of opening presents. I just love that movie, and I'm excited. So, yeah, here is my interview with Ed Mehler.
Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Ed, welcome to the show, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
I am fabulous. This is a great honor. Thank you so much for coming on today.
No problem. No problem at all.
So, going back in time, did you gravitate toward acting early on in your childhood?
I did. I was always the funny one in the family. Sorry about the dog barking if she barks.
Mm-hmm.
uh, so when I was 8 years old, we put on a talent show for our neighbors in the upstairs unit of the duplex, I guess you call it, in New York. And ever since then, I've always liked entertaining people. I've always been the funny one in the family among my two brothers and myself. And I just like the creation of characters and entertaining people and making them happy. So I've been at this for quite some time. I don't have the resume of some people, but definitely keep trying.
Yeah, so did you do school plays and community theater and all that?
I did a little bit of that. I majored, not majored, but drama was my big thing in high school. And then when I went to Cal State Northridge here in Southern California, my major was theater arts. So I've always had a knack for the arts and the acting bits.
So you're born and raised in New York?
Yeah, yeah. My dad died, excuse me, when I was 10 years old. So, uh, you can take the boy out of New York, but you cannot take New York out of the boy.
Yeah.
I've been out here since since the early 1970s. My heart tugs for New York, but I've been out here most of my life. But yeah, first 10 years, born in the Bronx, lived in Queens.
Did you go to Broadway plays a lot growing up?
I went to a few. In 2020, I took my older daughter, she's in her 20s, to see Wicked on Broadway
Mm-hmm.
at the Gershwin Theater. That was a highlight for me and her. I have a friend who works for a ticket agency, and he was able to get me orchestra seats, and that was, what, 5 years ago now, and that was fascinating. But yeah, there's nothing like Times Square, Broadway, the lights. It's nothing like it anywhere in the world.
Nice, nice. So you went to Cal State. So did you do any theater there?
I did a little bit of theater. We had to do some behind the scenes, operate the lights and stuff in the early stages, and I did some plays there. But when I got out of college, I actually I did. I don't like to use the word extra work,
Yeah.
background work, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
Um, and and I was probably on close to 200 shows. But other than my acting credits, my claim to fame was I was Corey Feldman's stand-in on the Goonies
Yeah.
for 8 weeks at Burbank Studios, and that is a memory that is etched in my mind forever. That was so much fun. I got to work with Sean Astin, who is now
Yep.
president of SAG-AFTRA, and Josh Brolin and Martha Plimpton, and of course Corey Feldman. I was his stand-in for 8 weeks, so that was a lot of fun working with Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. Oh my God, that movie has been a huge staple of my life since I was a kid. I looked like Chunk when I was a little kid, and my parents used to call me Chunk all the time. Um, wow. So, how did that job come about? So, were you just doing Were you doing stand-in work
So
first?
no, so I was first of all going back in time. I was a regular extra background person, I guess, if you will, on a
Yeah.
show called Mr. Belvedere.
Oh
Mr.
yes.
Belvedere was on Friday nights, 9 o'clock, Channel 7.
Loved
Who
it.
remembers details?
Yeah.
And Central Casting called me in almost weekly for that, and I worked on Facts of Life, Silver Spoons, Family Ties, What's Happening,
Hmm.
all these sitcoms was a lot of fun. And then one night I was on the Santa Monica Pier um, doing a show called, I think it was called Simon and Simon.
Yes.
It was a detective show with Parker Jameson,
In San
and I was on the
Diego.
pier.
It was
That was
shot.
in Santa Monica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. It was. I was on the Santa Monica Pier. It was a cold, rainy night. There were no cell phones, and there were only payphones. And one of the other friends of mine, extra, said, "Ed, Arnie from Central Casting wants to talk to you." And I said, "Okay." I go to the phone, and he goes, "There's a job for you tomorrow, Burbank Studios. It's a working title called The Goonies. Are you interested? You'll be a stand-in." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "It'll be for a couple of days." So I was the only one of the group on the Santa Monica Pier that got work that night for the next day, I should say. And I went to Burbank Studios, and it led day after day after day. It went 8 weeks, and Steven Spielberg knew my name. He greeted me every day at the smorgasbord of food on the stage 15. It was a closed set. One day he says, "I'm having a friend of mine come to the set just to see the set. Don't talk to him. Please don't ask for his autograph. Don't approach him." It was Michael Jackson,
Yeah. Yes.
who was a good friend of Steven Spielberg, and I was just,
Yep.
oh my God, like it's him from the Jackson Five. And then I met Cyndi Lauper, who sang the title song
Hmm.
um, of the movie Goonies, and that was a lot of fun because she's from New York. I'm from New York. I got to talk a little New York back and forth with her. Got an autograph, and
Nice.
so just that memory was so much fun.
That is so cool. Yeah. Oh my God. Were you there when Corey yelled reverse pressure?
Uh, I think I was. I think I was. And
Yeah.
there was a couple also times in the movie when Steven Spielberg. I don't know if you know what a hand insert is. There's a
Yes.
couple of times where you see just my hands.
Hmm.
And he came up to me one day when the kids were outside in the trailer getting their education per the California labor law for kids, and he goes, "Ed, the scene in the cave where the Fratellis are chasing the kids,
Hmm.
and there's a scene where one of the Fratelli guys, I don't know if it was Joey Pantoliano or the other guy,
Robert Davi.
um, he Robert Davi, yeah, sorry, it's been a
Hmm.
while. He picks up a gun and fumbles it, drops the gun, picks it up, drops it again, just can't control the gun off the side of the cave, and those are my hands doing that.
Hmm.
And then there's another scene on the pirate ship
Hmm.
where the Fratellis catch the kids and they tie their wrists with rope.
Yeah.
That's my hands tying the kids' hands with the rope. So even though you don't see my face, I did stand-in work and I had a couple of hand inserts, and that was a lot of fun, especially when Steven Spielberg called me out and said, "Hey, I want you to do this. Are you interested?" I'm like, "Hell yes."
Yeah. Spielberg had to direct a couple scenes, and like the reverse pressure moment was one of them. Corey had trouble getting the take right, so Spielberg told him that Michael Jackson was coming to the set, and then he got a really good performance out of him. Reverse pressure.
I didn't know that part of the story. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're working with Spielberg and just watching him, and all my friends were in the back part of the stage between working, playing backgammon and stuff, and I was always hanging around the camera, not too close, but close enough that I can watch Steven Spielberg and how he relates with assistant director and the director of photography at the camera,
Yeah.
and I just learned so much about the business from working on the Goonies. And Steven Spielberg is like the greatest, if not the greatest director of all time, up there with Scorsese and other ones.
Yeah.
And so that was a lot of fun for me because it was fun and educational at the same time, and I made a few bucks.
Yeah. And then you were in some MTV music videos. Kenny Loggins' "I'm Free." That's a great video. Of
Oh
course.
man, oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. So again, backstory. I did a music video a week earlier.
Hmm.
Neither one did I get paid for at the time. I did Ronnie James Dio. Have you heard of Ronnie
The
James
last
Dio?
the last in line. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. He's no longer alive, but I didn't listen to that kind of music when I was younger. But
Hmm.
I played the guy that's chained up to the pinball machine, and you see my mouth open when I get shocked, and you see all my fillings and
Yeah.
stuff, if you will, my belly.
Yeah.
And somebody a week later recommended me for the Kenny Loggins video, and
Hmm.
they said you need to go downtown LA right now. I said, well, can I go home and get some clothes? He goes, no, just go with what you're wearing. Go downtown right now because they're shooting it at night. And I had no idea what I was going to be doing in the video. Have you seen the video?
Oh yes, it's a trippy video.
Yeah, it's me, Kenny, and Virginia Madsen,
Hmm.
who's about my age right now, but she's always been beautiful woman and great to work with. And
Yeah.
so we shot that in the middle of the night, and the scene where we jump off the building, and she's scared to jump. We're actually jumping onto a mattress. So I'll tell you this part of the story that about 3 o'clock in the morning, I had come from work earlier in the day. And I worked at a pharmacy, I was the delivery guy,
Hmm.
and so that I got really tired like 3 o'clock in the morning. And Hollywood sets, there's a lot of dead time. I'm yawning and stuff, and I went to the assistant director and I said, I'm really tired. Can I go like sit down, lay down somewhere? He says, yeah. So somebody told me to go in one of the motorhomes, and so I went and fell asleep. About 5 o'clock in the morning, they were looking for me and they couldn't find me. The next thing I know, there's a hand on the collar of my shirt, picks me up by the collar. Where the blank have you been? We've
Wow.
been looking for you. We have to get the scene done before the sun comes up. I said, I'm sorry. I got really tired. I asked permission to go sit down and lay down, and the guy said yes, and I'm sorry you couldn't find me. It wasn't funny at the time, Tommy, but looking back, hey, it's one of the stories of being on a set. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty featured in that music video. I didn't know how featured I'd be from the middle to the end, being the little kid that
Oh yeah.
guides them away from the cops and stuff. But that video turned out great, and it's my favorite music video that I've done.
Yeah, it's great. It was a big hit on the Footloose soundtrack. But yeah, the Dio Last in Line video, that's actually the one I was referring to. That was super trippy. I mean, yeah, the Kenny Loggins one is great too, but the Dio one, it's very futuristic and very weird. And I heard Dio was like one of the nicest guys in rock.
He was great. He was great. We filmed that inside a building, of course, and there was a lot of special effects and a lot of smoke and stuff. You actually see me in another scene when we're a bunch of kids kind of walking past the camera. I'm in a brown kind of a
Hmm.
cap kind of thing. People don't know it's me, but of course they know me for the kid that was tied up to the pinball game, or the video game, I should say.
Yeah.
And I get zapped, and you see my mouth open twice and stuff. And I'm really glad they picked me to do that because that was good. One more thing I want to mention before I forget.
Hmm.
Um, did I tell you I was in the end of Weird Science?
Oh yes, and I actually saw the screenshot you put on Instagram.
Oh,
That was the first movie my parents ever took me to at the drive-in.
that movie. So again, I got it through Central Casting, and they said you're going to go to Bell High School in
Hmm.
LA. And so school was in session that day. We had like a 7 or 8 o'clock call time,
Yep.
and I didn't work the entire afternoon and morning. It was like, sometimes you don't work at all, you still get paid. But school was in session, and the kids in PE were out in the basketball court where we were congregating. They're like, "Oh, you're a big movie star," and I'd autograph. I'm like, Whatever, you don't even know who I am." But at about 4:50, 4:55 in the afternoon, we're like, "Are we going to go home? Are they going to use us?" They're like, "Okay, everybody in the gym. We're going to shoot the scene." Kelly LeBrock was not there.
Hmm.
Of course, she's at the end. You see her, but she wasn't there for the filming of it. They added her in,
Right.
and I had no idea that the camera was on me. I was coaching a little league team at the time,
Hmm.
and I took them to the Man Theaters in the Valley, San Fernando Valley, to see the movie. And at the end of the movie, when when the camera's on me during the drop and give me 20 scene, I sunk in my seat. All the kids on the team were laughing. Hey, it's you, coach. It's you. I said, I told you I'd be in it, but I didn't know the camera would be on me because I do really good facial expressions.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see me all skinny and stuff and the gym clothes, and then we fall back, hit our heads. And so, yeah, that was a lot of fun too. But that scene was done in about 5 minutes, and we didn't work the entire day till about 5 in the afternoon.
Wow. And what was John Hughes like as a director?
He was good. I mean, I didn't see him a lot of the time because they were filming just around campus, but he was fun. I also worked on, and this memory is a little bit vague for me. I worked on Some Kind of Wonderful. I
Oh
think you
yeah.
know that film.
Oh yes.
With Molly Ringwald. All I remember is being in a car. It was in Ranchos Palos Verdes, which is down by LAX and stuff.
You sure was that not Pretty in
So
Pink? Because Molly Ringwald was in Pretty in Pink.
I think I was in that one too, but I have no idea what I did. I don't remember so many years ago, but
Okay.
I think I did both of them. But I definitely was in Some Kind of Wonderful. Also, while I'm on the subject, so did you know that Back to the Future was first filmed with Eric Stoltz before they
Yes.
yeah, so they had 3 weeks in the can. For people that don't know what that means, 3 weeks of production was done at Whittier High School, and I was in the cafeteria scene. And after that, I got my big break in TV in a show called Airwolf,
Yep.
which was a CBS show on Wednesday nights, Channel 2, at the military helicopter. And I played one of four high school kids that go down to South America for an archaeological dig. We get captured by the bad guys. Who the leader of the bad guys was Jennifer Aniston's father, John Aniston.
Uh huh.
He was also on Days of Our Lives. It was fun working with him. So I did that. And then a week or two later, I get a call from Central Casting.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, they're reshooting Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox. We need you back at Whittier High School to redo the scenes. And I thought I had a fat head at the time. I'm like, no, I just came off a big acting thing. I'm not interested. I thought it was like too big for my britches, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I declined it. It was one of the biggest regrets I have, only because it was easy money to go back and redo the scenes. But because I had come off of Airwolf, I didn't think I needed to do background work anymore. Stupid me just gave up like $500 to $800. And so I wasn't in the movie with Michael J. Fox, but I was with Eric Stoltz, but obviously that didn't make it off the editing floor.
Yeah, Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time, and I got a lot of the trivia about that movie all in my head. But I have a friend who was on Airwolf with you, and she was also in Weird Science, Jill Whitlow.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. And Jill and I got along great. She is more famous than I am, if you will. Not that it's a race, but yeah, she was wonderful, very talented girl. We had that scene in Airwolf when we take off an airplane where we're talking and stuff, and she was great to work with. And the kid from Land of the Lost, Philip,
Yep,
he
Philip
was
Pally. Yeah.
Philip Halley. Yeah, I got along with him great, man. We had a lot of fun. And then Robert Chestnut played the tough kid in the group, kind of like the Fonzie of the group with the black T-shirt and the muscles and stuff. So it was me, Philip, Jill, and Robert were the four kids, and we're a lot older now. But
Yeah.
have you seen that episode? Have you seen the episode of it?
I don't think I have. I may
Yeah,
have saw it on YouTube or something years ago, but I can't
I
remember.
can I can send you the link. Just remember, what's it called? What's it called? Short Walk to Freedom is the name of the episode, and it's
Uh-huh.
season 2, episode 22. Season 2, episode 22, and that's
Awesome.
us. Yeah,
Awesome.
that was a lot
Thanks.
of fun.
So how do you get casted Better Off Dead?
Okay, so I knew you were going to ask me that. So there was a publication many years ago. I know I'm a few years older than you. Was called Dramalog,
Mm-hmm.
before the computer and the internet, and there was an ad in there for a nerdy teenager to play in a short film. No pay, but I got a copy of it on beta, and it was directed by Savage Steve Holland, who I'd never heard of before. So he cast me, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a real short film, like I don't know, 6 8 minutes, something like that, about a nerdy kid that takes out this beautiful girl on his first date, and my character was named Buster,
Mm-hmm.
and I greet her at the door, and there's this guy there. I don't remember his name, but he was in a bunch of Union 76 commercials, Unical.
Okay.
Called it Union 76 back then. He was the father of the girl, and he basically said, he opens the door, and I look up because he's like, real big and muscular and, big, strong guy. And he basically says, "You get my daughter home late, I'm going to kill you." And I'm all scared and stuff. And I'm driving her around and stuff, and all these funny things happen. The windshield wipers go on by themselves and go off or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that was a lot of fun. I answered it through Dramalog, and I will always be indebted to Steve Holland for casting me. And where the connection is Steve reached out to me to be in Better Off Dead. He goes, it's a small role. You'll still play Buster. You want to do it? And I was young, and I said, yeah, anything to add to my resume. And so, I don't have the role John Cusack had or Diane Franklin, but that's how I got the Buster role through Steve Holland, who remembered me from Buster's First Date, which was one of his first short things that he did, and it was one of my break-in things into the business.
Yeah, I mean, God, Cusack was like 18. He had just made The Sure Thing, and I don't think Natty Gann had been out yet, but he was 18, and there was no question he was talented. I mean, did you see that right away?
Yeah, he seemed different than the rest of us and stuff, and he was still young, like you said, but uh, yeah, it was his up and coming film. I heard over the years that he didn't like the way the film turned out. I don't know him
Yes.
personally. I don't know if that's true, but there was some negative stuff that he I think he denies it, but he said that it wasn't his favorite film. He didn't like. I don't have all the details. He didn't like the way it turned out. I think you said you've heard about that kind of
Di-
gossip too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Diane has reconnected with him at a couple conventions in recent years,
yeah,
and she's gotten closure about it. She just, he liked the movie. He just didn't like the way it turned out, and he thought he was just, not that experienced enough, to play that kind of a role and stuff. But he had nothing against the movie, but he was immature in the way he handled it. When him and Holland were making One Crazy Summer, he lashed out on him over it.
yeah. Well, I mean, he was young, and he said some things probably he shouldn't have, and you live and learn and stuff. But yeah, that the classroom scene was done, and I think we did it in La Crescenta, Sunland area. They're off the 210 at a school. That was a lot of fun. I think I worked a couple of days, but over the years, I think I'm in a cafeteria scene. I'm trying to
Yes,
remember it,
it's
but
the
when I
it's.
watch the movie, I can't see the scene. I can't find the scene.
I know where you are. It's when Schneider grabs your book and tosses it to get you out of the seat
Yes,
because he wants to sit next to Diane.
yes, exactly, exactly. But I've seen it a couple times. I can't. I think the scene is in the beginning of the movie.
No, no, it's like halfway through. It's like when the confrontation between Roy and Lane happens, and and they says, let's do the race, kind of thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
That I remember that scene and stuff. I just don't. I'm trying to find myself in that scene. But yeah, my big scene in the classroom was fun. The teacher was it Vincent
Vincent Chiavelli.
Chiavarelli and
Yeah,
Chiavelli. Yeah, he was a lot of fun and stuff. And Steve told me what to do, and he goes, you're gonna raise your hand as you want to go up to the chalkboard and stuff, and do that crazy scene. And that was a lot of fun. I'm glad Steve chose me because it's for the classroom scene. It's pretty featured for me, but the rest of the movie I'm not really in. So
oh, if you ever read Curtis Armstrong's book, there's a pretty nasty, pretty dark little anecdote about Vincent Chiavelli in there. I'll tell you.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the book and read that. Interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
I want to find out about that. But yeah, that movie was a lot of fun. I think I worked like 2 days on it and stuff.
And he's great playing that teacher, and and Lane, hears him say, "Can I take out Beth?" So funny.
One more story that I remember. Steve also did How I Got into College. Do you
Yes.
remember that movie?
Yep.
Okay, so this is a story that it's kind of interesting too. So I showed up on that movie as an extra, not knowing that Steve was a director. I think I got it through Central Casting. It was done in a diner in Pasadena, and I show up and I run into Steve on the set. He
Hmm.
goes, he always called me Edward. Don't ask me. I just I
Yeah.
go by Ed, but Edward legally. He goes, Edward, what are you doing here? And I just wanted to sink down because, when you're an actor, you don't want to be known as an extra, but, money's money. And so I show up and he goes, what are you doing here? And I said, oh, great to see you, Steve. How are you? I'm just doing background and stuff. So there's a scene where there's this big, heavy set kid is big, heavyset guy, nerdy guy, is dancing in front of these girls to impress them. And they're doing some rehearsals. And he falls. This is rehearsal, not the actual scene. Well, he falls and hurts his ankle, and he can't continue. And Steve's like, oh, SHIT. He goes, Edward. So the guy leaves the set. And they have to get the scene done. He goes, Edward, come here. I'm going to give you this part. And I got upgraded from an extra to an actor. And he tells me what to do. And if you watch the movie in the diner for about, I don't know, over a minute, you see me doing all this weird dancing and twirls and stuff. And there's no lines, but I'm just dancing, spinning around, trying to impress these girls. I got that role because this actor, heavyset guy, accidentally hurt himself during rehearsals and he could not continue. And so that was also done with Steve Holland. And
Yep.
you could see me, if anybody can find the clip to that, you'll see me in that as well.
Yeah, that's a good one as well. I found out he didn't even write that one, which is mind-boggling because, it seemed like he was destined to do a college story next after One Crazy Summer, and some woman wrote how I got into college, and he made it his own. And it is a funny movie. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it is good. I think Steve also did the animation for the game show Press Your Luck. Did you know that?
Probably because yeah, he did start in animation, and of course, all his movies begin with animation.
Yeah, yeah. He was the guy behind the character in Press Your Luck on the game show that has that weird voice. I think that was Steve. So.
hmm You did an episode of the Bronx Zoo. How was that experience?
That was a lot of fun. Growing up watching Mary Tyler Moore, I was on the Bronx Zoo with Ed Asner. That
Yep.
was done at Paramount Studios. Oh, you just reminded me how I got that role. So I was a regular on the TV show Fame with Janet Jackson. Like I told you earlier, I was
Yeah.
just background, but you always see me in a lot of the classroom scenes. And there was a director that did a bunch of episodes named Win, W-I-N, Win Phelps.
Okay.
And Win recommended me for that role through my agent, I guess, in the Bronx Zoo. I'm trying to remember what I even did in that episode. I don't even remember, but that was done at Paramount, and that was fun because I'm from New York and I was born in the Bronx. Of course, when they told me to be in the Bronx Zoo, I'm like, oh, this is great. Anything connected to New York, and so it was great working with Ed Asner, who was in his elder years at that time. But that was a fun thing to do as well. Again, another classroom scene. I tended to do a lot of classroom scenes, which I can't do anymore because my hair is all gone. I play a different character these days, but I worked on so much stuff when I was younger. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and another cast member of How I Got Into College, the star Corey Parker, is in it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I interviewed him too. Yeah, he's a
great.
nice
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Yeah.
he's a nice
So
guy.
there's 160,000 people in SAG-AFTRA, and as big as Hollywood is,
hmm
it really is a small community. You run into people all the time. You run into um, you know, people on the set, the crew and stuff, and you're like, oh, I hope to see you again somewhere down the road, and you do because makeup, hair people. It really is a small business, a small community when you think about it. But even though it has a lot of members, you do see a lot of the same people over and over sometimes, and it's just so great to work with them.
Absolutely. How do you come to play the video store owner in The Perfect Match?
Uh, my memory of that is vague. I don't have dementia, but that was so long ago. I, if you have that scene, please send it to me because I want to see
hmm
it again. I don't remember that scene too much, but it's on my resume. I did play the video store. I was actually the manager of a video store in real life called the World of Video in Van
Uh-huh.
Nuys, California, and so that was kind of fun that I got to replicate what I did in real life. So had experience on what to do in a video store. But I don't quite remember that scene, but I'm gonna have to research it because I want to see it again.
You had two scenes, and Jennifer Edwards is a friend of mine. She's been on here twice, and hopefully a third one coming soon. She, yeah, she calls you a weenie in the second scene because she had just broke up with Mark McClure, and she's tired of you pushing her around, and she calls you a weenie, and it's so funny. And
I,
uh, Diane Stillwell's her best
I
friend.
gotta get a copy of that scene. I gotta get. Am I in more than one scene? I don't remember.
Yeah, just two scenes. First, the that you have an introduction scene, and she's like she's trying to give these all these guys like different porn titles. It's a PG movie, and there's like all these nasty porn titles in it, and there's that, and then there's the scene where she calls you a weenie.
I'm gonna get those scenes and put it on my social media. If you have access to it or can find it, please send it to me.
I
Because
know the movie is on Tubi, and I think it used to be on YouTube.
yeah, I'll research it and stuff because I would love to share that with the people that follow me on social media. By the way, earlier this year,
Uh,
to change subject, I was in a Papa Roach video. I don't know if you know who Papa Roach
of
is, but
course, I was in high
I could,
school when they were huge.
yeah, yeah. It's a new song called Brain Dead, and the assistant to my commercial talent agent, her name is Joanna
Mhm.
Delaney. She recommended me for it, and I got picked. And that was done this past summer. And you got to look quick and see me. I play one of the mental patients, and that was a lot of fun. That was done in near Pomona City College in a facility that is closed down, but it looks totally like a mental facility institution that was open years ago. And I
Mhm.
did that earlier this year. So I've actually done four music videos. One of them has not come out yet. Still in post production, I guess. But I love doing music videos. They're a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah. I've been in a couple music videos myself in the background, and it can be a lot of fun. I remember one music video I was in, we had like 25 pizzas for lunch, and everybody went home with pizza. There was so much of it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. So I just recently was a featured background person in a movie that is coming out next May.
mhm.
I can't put on my resume because I don't put background stuff. It's called Stop That Train,
Uh-huh.
and it's a bunch of drag queens are the stars of it. RuPaul's one of the producers, and
Nice.
all the people on his show over the years are the cast. And that was done a couple weeks ago. Again, Adam Shankman is the director who did Hairspray, and it's about a train that goes from LA to Florida in one day. All these weird things happen. It's a comedy, and it's in like Airplane, that kind of chaotic comedy. And I'm one of the
Mhm.
coach passengers, and I'm featured in a couple scenes that you'll see. It comes out in theaters next
Right.
May 29, 2026. And RuPaul plays the president of the United States who saves the train from crashing at the end. And we did that at Union Station the first day in downtown LA, and then we filmed at Quixote Studios in Pacoima, where they built a makeshift train. It looks totally like a real train, and the seats were real plush and comfortable. And there's a lot of downtime when you're on a set. The food was amazing. I worked on it for 7 days, and had to wear the same shirt every day because the whole movie takes place in one day, and all these funny weird things happen. And there's some musical numbers that they do on the train, and so I can't put that on my resume, but you'll see me when that comes out next May.
Nice. So, what year did you start doing stand up?
I haven't done a whole lot of stand up, but I've just I'm like at my work. I work at a bakery. I'm the funny guy, and
Mhm.
I kind of like to do comedy that and the Jerry Seinfeld kind of a theme where I just kind of like make fun of things that happen in everyday life and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I can just look at a customer, and if they're funny or we start a conversation, I can just take that and go with it for a couple of minutes and stuff. But I haven't done a whole lot of stand up. I probably should do it. I probably got 5 or 6 minutes I could do. They'll either like it or they'll throw peanuts at me to get off the stage. But I haven't done a whole lot of stand up as far as like a comedy club, but I
Oh,
think I could do that, and just may well try that soon. Actually,
okay. Because I saw
the
on
worst you can do is fail, right?
yeah, because I saw on social media, Bob Golub.
Yeah, we're friends. I went to one of Bob's shows and I got to
Hmm.
talk to him. after the show, and he's kind of risque with his mouth and stuff. And
Yeah.
I also went to Fritz Coleman, who was our Channel 4
I
weatherman
know
here in
Fritz.
LA.
Yeah, I know Fritz.
Fritz, yeah. Yeah, I went to his show and got to talk to him and stuff. And Bob and I are friends on social media. He likes my posts, and I like his posts and stuff. And Bob's the kind of guy, you either like him or you hate him. It's
Yep.
no in between and stuff. And his comedy's kind of raw sometimes. But went to the Junkyard Cafe in Simi Valley where they had the comedy show, and got to talk to him a little bit backstage, and got to make an acquaintance with him. But yeah, he's great as well.
Yeah, they're all great guys. Yeah, I did stand up for 10 years in San Francisco. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart, and there's a lot of politics in it, But, I encourage people to give it a try at least once. If they're funny and they got something, you know, at least decent material, I mean, go up and try it.
Oh yeah,
You got nothing to
yeah.
lose.
I would mix it in by picking on some people in the front row, like a lot of comedians do, and just
Hmm.
kind of improv your comedy from there. Hopefully, people laugh and don't throw me out. But I could do that as well as tell a few jokes and stuff. But like everyday situations, I
Hmm.
like to turn them into funnies. Um, but hopefully, people don't take it personally. But that's what comedy is.
Yeah. So have you always remained in acting, or did you take a break for a while?
Thank you for asking. So, long story short, I did it in my late teens, early 20s. Hollywood likes when you're 21, 22 years old and you can play high school.
Of
They
course.
like that because you don't, you're an adult even though you look, like a high schooler. And so most of the extra parts that I had background um, I did it till I was like 25, 26. And then, I got married in my early 30s and stopped. And unfortunately, my marriage failed. We're still friends today, but those years were difficult for me. And I wound
Hmm.
up having custody of my two girls who are in their mid 20s now and
Hmm.
both married and thriving in life. And I stopped acting, never thinking, Tommy, I would ever go back to it again. And then about 5 years ago, I got back into it. I wrote a heartfelt letter, being an English major. I wrote a heartfelt letter to Screen Actors Guild and requested to get back into the union to see if they could do anything about my fees and stuff.
Hmm.
I can't give any details other than they were very kind and was able to get me in on the little discounted fees. And I got to tell you, my SAG-AFTRA card, I need my debit card to survive every day like we all do.
Right.
But the card that I'm most proud of is my SAG-AFTRA card. So even though it says member since 1985, I did take a break to raise my kids for 18 years
Yeah.
and realized when my kids went off to college um, that I never lost the itch for acting. And so I got back into it about 5 years ago. I've got two talent agents, one theatrical, one commercial, and taking classes. And I took a voiceover class in October with Angela Malhotra, who is big with animation. She's wonderful. She's done hundreds of shows for Netflix and Nickelodeon, and I hopefully will get into voiceover as well, try and expand. But even at my age, I'm not giving up. It's still a passion of mine as long as I'm kicking and the desire is there and the craving is there, which it is. And I keep going strong.
God bless you, man. That is just beautiful. Because I tell you, the last 8 years I've been hosting this podcast, I have heard it all. I've heard people, getting out of the business for a while for X, Y, and Z, every type of reason possible. But when I hear that people gave up their careers for their children, I just think that is so special because that is not always the case, as we know. We see so many, Hollywood kids growing up to just be imbeciles because their parents didn't give them enough attention because they were so narcissistic. All they did was work all the time, and they couldn't get out of their commitments. But when I hear a case like yours, I just think it's so commendable.
The greatest achievement and the most rewarding experience I've ever had was raising my two daughters, Lexi, who's going to be 28 this Friday, and
Nice.
Marissa, who lives near me here in California, Ventura County. She's 26, and I was I was a statistic for the court. I was a divorce case, but I wound up being a single dad with custody. People ask me, "How did you get custody?" It always goes to the mom, and I said, "No, each case is different." And so I was a Mr. Mom, and my kids were 1 and 2.5. when the situation arose, and it was very traumatic for me because I'm a family person, and I didn't want my family to be broken up and destroyed. But raising my children was my top priority. I worked full time for a Hawaii travel business.
Mm-hmm.
Half my life was spent in the travel business, and but raising my kids was an incredible experience. I'm so proud of them. My older daughter's an RN. My younger daughter works in sales. They're both thriving in life, and I couldn't be more proud of them. But Hollywood aside, raising my kids and having them turn out the way they have is I can't even put it into words how proud I am of them. But now it's me time again. It's me and my dog Bella. She doesn't ask for a cell phone or a credit card, and so life is a little bit calmer for me now, and I can totally focus on my career.
Beautiful. So what do you got upcoming you can mention?
Well, I had a big audition last week, I should say, for I can't mention the product. It was for a
Yeah.
Super Bowl commercial. I'm
Okay.
waiting to see if I get a call back. I haven't heard back yet. But other than that, you got to put food on the table. You got to pay rent. I do work at a bakery. I'm the driver. I'm not the baker, but I work the counter, help the customers, and the woman that I work for. About 7, 8 years ago, she and her partner called an Uber, and I showed up. And I started talking to them. They were in the back seat. I'm driving, and they said, "Ed, we really like you. How can we use you again?" I said, "Well, don't go on the app. Just here's my cell phone. Call me directly. You can pay me cash under the table." And I was at an office job at the time, just did Uber for extra money. And back in 2020, she goes, "I really need a driver on the weekends, go between the two bakeries, deliver their products and their supplies. Are you interested?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll give you 5 hours Saturday, 5 hours Sunday, but no more than that because I'm already working 40 hours during the week." And so I did that. And then one thing led to another, and I quit my other job and started working for her full time in 2022. And it all started because she called an Uber. And even though she's not blood family related to me, it's like working for family. It used to be called Victor Bennett's Bakeries inside Gelson Supermarket. She
Mm-hmm.
just changed the name. That's it, to Mama Lo's. And all the customers love me there. And really, I get to do my comedy for the customers. They love it. The coworkers that I work with, I keep them in stitches. Yesterday, I was just on a comedy roll. I couldn't 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm making jokes as I'm passing by with my racks and putting the pastries and cookies in the van with the work van. I just was on point yesterday, and they were just dying. And when I'm there, I keep the atmosphere light, and I joke with the customers, and so I get paid to be at the bakery, but I also love the fact that I can do my stand up, if you will, in front of many of the customers that I see every day, and that just keeps me going and keeps me fresh. I tell them like, "Oh, did you hear that they stopped making the penny?" They're like, "Yeah." I said, "It makes no sense," and they get the joke and start laughing, and that's just one of many jokes that I have. But I like to take advantage of the relationship with the customers and do my comedy, and they love it. They love it.
Do you find that it's less stressful doing a showbiz job and doing a, non-showbiz job? Like a retail job is much more rewarding.
Is the retail job more rewarding than the acting? That which I didn't hear the
Yeah,
first part.
yeah. Like, is it less stressful? Because I worked in retail and I can tell you it was always stressful. It was never fun for me.
So let me tell you, and if you've read some of my posts on Instagram, when I'm on a set,
Hmm.
I am like a kid at Disneyland, Tommy. That is my happy place. That is where I'm not the most calm, but that is where I'm the most happy.
Hmm.
Um, when I was on the movie Stop That Train a couple weeks ago for 7 days,
Hmm.
just being on the set and the food and watching how Adam Shankman works and stuff, retail, that is how I pay my rent. Living in Ventura County is very expensive. Not that it's not expensive anywhere else. It's expensive everywhere. But working at the bakery provides a roof over my head, gas in my car, food in my belly, and allows me to pay my bills. But I don't really want to be there. And I know you know what I mean. That's not where I want to be in life. You could never tell when I'm at the bakery that I'm not the happiest, because it's always service with a smile. And like I said, I like to entertain the customers and stuff. They call me the Muffin Man because I deliver the muffins in the morning. But it's all in fun and game and stuff. But that's how I survive financially in life. But that's not where I really want to be. When I'm on a set, I'm quote unquote home. That is my happy place. That's where I'm most comfortable, creating characters and, just being somebody different in who I am in life. It goes back to when I was 8 years old, when I wanted to play characters, and the creativity of creating characters and being somebody you're not, whether it's comedy, drama, horror, whatever, brings me the most pleasure.
Even if you gotta wait till 5 p.m.
Oh man, that was a long freaking day, man. I mean, we work, and I tell my friends, I'm like, why don't they just send us home and stuff, and then 4:55 p.m. Come on in the gym, we're ready for you. I'm like, all right, thank you. So that, back then, I guess it was about $140 a day,
Yeah.
which is what I got for being on the Goonies every day. But yeah, and weird science, it was like they used us in the last 5 minutes. We get paid, when they don't use you as an extra, you still get paid. I worked on Dallas. Didn't see JR, didn't see Larry Hagman or Barbara Bell Gedman or whatever. I worked in Simi Valley one day.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't use me, but I was on the set and got paid, but you don't see me in the show. I worked on Trapper John MD.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that show, Monday night? Just a lot of shows, and it just kept my interest going in the business, and I'm like, I could do this for the rest of my life.
Yes. Ed, thank you so much for coming on today. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and be safe out there.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't mean to ramble so much, but you brought back a lot of good memories, and I want to see those scenes from A Perfect Match, because I don't quite remember them, but I'll find them. But thank you. I'm privileged and honored to be on. I appreciate you asking, and it was a lot of fun, and hopefully I gave a little bit of insight into myself.
Oh, you did, yeah. I mean, they want to hear you; they don't want to hear me. So, you did nothing but wonderful rambling. You gave a lot of great information. Thank you so much.
Wonderful memories. Thank you, Tommy, and happy holidays to you and everybody out there.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye.
Well, there you have it. Ed Mehler, ain't he a cool dude? Oh my God. I just loved his little anecdotes and stories there. That was a great talk. And wow, God, I mean, he really is a Zelig, isn't he? I mean, he's gotten to experience some great things in the last era of the golden age of Hollywood there, didn't he? Wow, that was a trip down memory lane. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.